FlyQuest gets the first pick. Third game means we do actually have some decent pressure on the pools from the Fearless system. So first pick of the draft is the Renekton here for Bwipo. Just as much as we talk about this guy being a champion pool pioneer, like always willing to try out the experimental stuff, he also plays all of the meta picks.
He can dry off every once in a while.
Yeah. Hop out of the pool, grab a little bit of sun, it'll be great. And that's what he's doing this time on the Renekton.
I mean, Gnar makes a lot of sense. I do think it is a pretty solid matchup. We are going back to stock standard here. Bwipo's cooks did not really work out the last 2 games. I don't think there was anything, necessarily wrong with the picks, but whether it's play or just Fudge playing really well or whatever, it did not really work out. There are still some really high prio picks that are up and available. Taliyah, notably, when you're thinking about some of these hard engaged champs, things like Rell are still up and available.
Yep.
So I do think there's going to be some changes mostly in jungle, where we've been seeing a lot of tank junglers. All the best tank junglers are gone, unless someone wants to go to like a Mumu or something like that, but even a Mumu usually goes Landry's into tank. So I do think we're going to be seeing more carry-style junglers. Nocturne Orianna definitely could be an opportunity here if they wanted to go towards it. The knock wave, I do think, can work quite well. Inspired, not usually a guy who plays like a lot of Nocturne, but he is a guy who can pretty much play anything when he wants to, and could make sense from this position. Either way, they're going to need some sort of ball delivery system, and I think Nocturne would fit the ticket because Alistar's already gone, Rakan's already gone, a lot of those primo ones are gone, and like I said, the tank junglers are gone, so you need a carry jungler anyway. Great. Yeah. Makes sense.
There it is. And that combo that you're talking about with the Orianna Nocturne put together with the ultimates, if the timing is right, it is so damn near impossible to get away from it. It
is impossible. If it's straight up perfectly timed, you cannot avoid it.
And especially if you're a mage like Taliyah, who does not have reactionary mobility ability. Like your only mobility ability is stand next to a wall while you're running or use your ulti to get away, which has a bit of a casting time to it. This could be a very dangerous game for the carries of Shopify, and I really like the Xayah pick into this, recognizing, hey, there's no way out of this ballistic missile unless I become literally untargetable.
Yep. Ezreal, Xayah, those are the 2 that are considered the top tier AD carries when it comes to just surviving and being able to live through dive. So obviously the Ezreal was already picked, so they're going to go towards Xayah, and then they're going to throw some safety bans down towards bot lane. They do take out the Caitlyn. It'll be interesting to see if they want to go for Leona on 4, if that's going to get banned out by FlyQuest, because Leona, obviously a really good pairing with the Taliyah, point-and-click CC, sets up the seismic shove. Those are one of those things that really do kind of amp the power. Instead, so far, they are going to be targeting jungle picks here. Jarvan, okay. You can do kind of a similar thing, flag and drag, or you just throw down the ultimate, and it's very hard to avoid the seismic shove, within that Cataclysm. So they are looking towards some of these. You are thinking that it's going to be an AD jungler for Contractz, so that if they want to continue to narrow the pool will be the target. And this time it's going to be the Bard banned by Shopify. It was banned against Seos earlier in the series, but Busio also is a known Bard enthusiast.
Do not want to allow him on that one. Let's see what the last ban is going to be here for FlyQuest if they want to continue pinching that jungle pool, which already does not have the Nefiri, does not have the Vi, does not have the Jarvan. Everything from the first couple of games also out of the picture, and now Pantheon also taken out. It's another champ that pairs really well with Taliyah with the point-and-click CC. It's also something that you could lock in on 4 and have it flex to either jungle or support, so I like this as a ban.
I like it a lot too. Are we going to get Pantheon, or are we going to get Shen supporter jungle? This could be pretty interesting. I will say, when you're playing against Nocturne, it's kind of tough because you have to ult really fast because you can't ult during the Nocturne ult, right? Like, you can't actually ult off of the frames. So it is going to be Shen. I actually think it might be Shen jungle. I think Shen jungle is actually viable. The Q buffs do help your clear. I think you can play it. I also feel like Shen support is totally fine. I do think it's a reasonable 3-way flex. And so they're going to leave that possibility open here, and we'll see where Shopify wants to send it. They do still need, some CC. Pantheon, Jarvan, those are great junglers for that CC. Shen can do taunts into the seismic shove. You also could still pair like Leona as the last pick here with this, which could make some sense. Leona or Rell, some sort of hard engage, because again, they are very light on hard engage right now. And Shopify has been drafting pretty heavily for engage in both of the games. So I would be surprised to see, like Shen is your only real engage and you go like Lee Sin or something. To me, that just wouldn't make sense. Ooh. I actually really like this though. I think that means they're saying, okay, you're going to play Shen support is the read here. Now I feel like if you were thinking about putting it jungle, you put it jungle, because this is a terrible matchup for Shen down in the bot lane 2v2. It means if the Janna is playing well, you're never going to get your taunt in that 2v2 unless you taunt flash.
Snap Q. Yeah,
unless you taunt flash, you'll always get interrupted by good Janna players. I like Shen a lot, so I've played quite a bit of Shen support. I feel like this matchup is horrible, so I feel like if you were going to flex it, and they are going to flex it. So it is a Rell, one of the two kind of prime engaged supports that were left that I talked about, that and the Leona. It is going to be Shen jungle for Contractz. This is pretty exciting. I've been waiting to see Shen come back more in pro. It got buff, it got buff, it got buff 3 patches in a row. And I've been thinking we're going to see it more. I was thinking more in top lane, but Contractz going to bust this out, and we'll have to see how he actually performs. I do think Shen ult is used best aggressively, especially because against Nocturne, if you're trying to use it defensively, lights get turned out. You can't ult off the frames. So that is going to be really, really tough to deal with. But if you're using it aggressively, you're setting up dives and things like that. In some of these Shen jungle games, you just power clear, and then you just use your ult to counter gank or to assist on a dive. And it can be really nice to keep your farm up that way.
I also want to see how well he's able to respond to Inspired's ultimates. Exactly what you were talking about earlier. You've got to be fast on the reactions to make sure you can save people from that paranoia. And remember that although Nocturne flies in early, non-subscribers will see you in 30 seconds. Although Nocturne flies in early and does his initial blast of damage, the follow-up is all auto attacks. Nocturne has an AD steroid on his Dustbringer path. He has the attack speed steroid on his spell shield. He does a ton of extra damage through auto attacks, and Spirit's Refuge just shuts it all down.
There you go. Shutting down those auto attacks.
Yeah, the auto attacks.
Yeah, it's empowered by a passive.
No, it's not empowered by. He gets bonus stats towards his auto attacks from his casted spells. He casts Q, and then the effect of the spell, which is a ground effect, now makes it so his auto attacks, which are unenchanted, the ground is enchanted, not his hands.
Interesting.
This is all very clearly defined. I am using specific language. Defining in-game variables.
Is the passive an auto attack?
Is the passive an auto attack? The passive is a spell effect.
Okay.
Yeah, when he's just auto-attacking, they're auto-attacks.
You're wrong, but you're consistently
wrong. When Umbral Blades is off cooldown, it's a spell, because it has a magic effect that enchants the auto-attack.
Because he's doing the auto-attack animations with his hands.
No.
He's hitting us with this and stuff. He's like, no, it's a spell.
Because you clearly don't understand. I have to show you visual aids. Like, come on. This is like teaching 101.
Ooh, it's PTA on the Shen.
All right, we got PTA.
So he is going to be playing PTA, and he is going to be playing Ultimate Hunter as well as Cheap Shot, pretty standard secondary. When you're seeing in lane, people do like going Inspiration secondary quite a lot for approach velocity and biscuits, but of course, since you're jungle, you do not need that. And this is going to be a fun one. Yeah, I mean, I'm really curious to see how he can actually keep up his farm. Okay. This is spotted. Inspired is going to be starting his Raptors, and it looks like it's going to be like a split map type situation, because you can already see where the Taliyah is positioning. He's positioning on that side and kind of trying to push forward, I think, to make it clear for Contractz to be able to move in. Early on, your jungle clear, especially in the AoE camps, obviously way worse than that of the Nocturne, and Quad is going to spot him. Did he ping him? Or was that late? Oh, I would actually love to see like a pip-up replay of that to see if that actually was spotted by the observers. It would be cool, because Quad did move over, but they saw that he was moving over, and I just don't know if that ward actually spotted him or not. Either way, he is going to go buff to buff. Again, your AoE camp clear is really poor early on as the Shen. He is going to steal the red buff, but he lost his red buff and the Raptors. Now he's going to have to clear back, so is going to be going over. Was he spotted? Did Quad get there in time? Looks like probably not. We'll get to see here in a second. Oh, he saw the pet.
He sees the pet, but that's it.
But if you're not looking at the minimap, you wouldn't actually notice that. So either way, they are going to find out now. And yeah, Contractz just ends up doing 3 single target camps back to back to back. Does blue, enemy red, and then his Gromp. And Shen is quite good at clearing those out.
Yeah, it's just the chickens, the wolves that make it a little bit more of a pain in the butt, as Bwipo is in a little bit of danger up here against Fudge, who really wants to keep this trade going. Oh, misses that last wall of just enough range there for Bwipo to escape it without having to use the flash.
Yep, and that would have been huge. I mean, if he actually tags him with that, then you go back into mini, and you're probably able to at least force a flash, you know, if not potentially even just chase him down. The last time we saw Shen jungle was Spica back in 2020 playing it, so has been quite a while since we've actually seen it. And I'm going to be excited to see how he actually builds. You know, there's not a tremendous amount of solo queue data on this pick because, quite frankly, it's not that popular.
Bwipo in some danger. Fudge jumps right on top of his head and Contractz with a flash on top to guarantee that Bwipo can't make that an even trade. Wanted to take the safer option. Maybe he didn't have to flash. Maybe he did. He doesn't want to find out the answer to that question. It's first blood to Shopify Rebellion.
Yep, gets the taunt flash, kills him with the damage from that taunt. Bwipo at least does not flash, and he gets 2 flashes for his trouble, and he is going to be able to TP back and catch the wave, and the kill went to the jungler. So honestly, you don't want to die, but all things being equal, wasn't a bad death. And Inspired now looking for reinvade here at the Raptors. Palafox is going to TP back, so we'll see if they can actually try to defend this. Contract's already down 3 camps, so this is a little bit tough, but you can see the Gnar is moving out here as well. They know, you know what, we can't just be giving up all of these jungle camps here for Contractz. He needs farm.
And he will try to at least fight for the large chicken. The little baby chickens are all going to be stolen away by Inspired and Quad. So now Contractz looking for the chance to get back in here. Nice. Fudge trying to just slow him down. Make it so Shopify can line this up here for the taunt. Max range finds it. Contractz leading the charge here, and the seismic shove forces the flash out of Inspired.
I mean, cool, you got the flash, but the problem is he can't even go towards the scuttle now because look at his health, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's getting so far behind in this 1v1. This is why... Oh my God, Inspire got that too. He smoked both of those that they just contested. He now hits 16 to 35 as far as the CS. That is rough.
Yeah, that's a little bit depressing. As Sayos goes in for the flash shattering strike into the crash down follow-up on Busio, who then flashes away. The Ignite is going to take him low, but not low enough that he's seriously concerned about dying. So Shopify Rebellion trying to find their chance at some aggro down here in bot lane, but it doesn't pay off.
Yeah, I mean, Contractz is just so homeless right now. Like, there's just not much for him to do. You can see Bwipo is actually just proxying on the top side. He's going to go past the tower, clear out this wave. So they know that he's not up, you know, on that top side doing the Krugs. So he's going to go back down to his Gromp, try to get some gold here. Thankfully for him, he at least got the kill. Now that is, you know, feeling a little bit more important that he got the kill instead of Fudge because he has been put so far down. Does have a Giant's Belt here. We'll see if it is going to be Heartsteel. I feel like that probably makes the most sense for competitive. There's not that many melee champs on the other side, though, so I could see you going a different way. But honestly, like, Titanic, you're so poor at this point. Are you really going to go that? Heartsteel doesn't feel that great. I feel like from this spot, I don't even know.
Support items.
Yeah,
they're cheap. They're kind of crappy, but they still work.
You need at least one real item to help you clear.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I don't know.
It's a rough start for Contractz,
it's really
man.
Tough,
You're on one of these champions that does not have natural power farming capability, and you are so far behind.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because a lot of times in situations where I've seen people kind of, you know, in these rough spots, it's like Shen top, Shen jungle, whatever, they generally, their first component is to help them wave clear, whether it's a Tiamat or a Bomby. Sometimes people, you know, the kind of meta build that a lot of Shen one-tricks do top now is they just go Bomby, and then they don't actually build that into anything until much later. They often go Bomby into Deadman's, or if they're playing into AP, then they'll build, you know, Hollow Radiance or whatever. But you know, the clear is definitely weak here for Contractz, and Inspired.
Oh no!
Back again. This time Contractz gets it though.
Inspired will at least steal away 3 of the baby chickens, and that's still 24 of the gold. It's not like they're entirely inconsequential. So Inspired continuing to be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's nearly a full level ahead. No, not quite, but just about a full level ahead of where Contractz is. It is a 200 gold lead for Inspired as well, despite the fact that Contractz has a kill and he does not. So Contractz, though, is going to be level 6 in a couple more camps. Once he gets that, we'll see how effective the first play is. It's so critical for both Nocturne and Shen that you get value out of these ults because they are painfully long cooldowns.
Yeah.
The Shen rank 1 ulti is just like, this thing is crazy how long it is. It is over 3 minutes on the cooldown. So
yikes.
You have got to get value out of it. And honestly, like, I don't even feel like saving a teammate is enough value. Like, you need to get kills with it, you know? And so sometimes you have to make that tough decision to just let someone die instead of just using an ulti where they're like running away and maybe barely going to survive because it just doesn't feel worth it.
I really like Inspired going after this Drake, recognizing, hey, I have level 6 power spike, Contractz doesn't. I'm just going to use this opportunity to force this because if anybody tries to come up and fight us, it's instant win for us. They'll claim the first Drake. The grubs haven't spawned yet. Still 10 seconds on that one. Inspired again, just trying to contest Contractz in the jungle, but cannot steal away that blue buff. as he makes his way through mid lane. He's far enough away from the enemy wave that he's not going to be spotted walking through here, so it's just cheap, free, extra pathing, saving a little bit of time as Bwipo continues pushing up the wave here in top, and Inspired just continuing to take advantage of the lead that he has here in the jungle, controlling neutral space.
Yeah, Quad just throws on the shockwave. Oh, Fudge. I thought he was going to recall. He's not. He's going to die.
Oh, nicely done from Inspired there. You said you wanted value out of the Nocturne and Shen ultis, and Inspired and Bwipo just flipped the switch, instantly kill Fudge and Mini Gnar.
Yeah, I saw Fudge actually starting his recall, and I was like, okay, that's really smart. You know that Inspired is 6. You know that Bwipo has ulti. You're in Mini. There's no way you live a dive there. Just no shot. But he canceled his recall, tried to stay around, and they just give him a freebie. We'll see if they can find something on the other side.
Okay, Contractz trying to get away from this, but man, this Shen is still so weak. Level 6 Shen with a belt. It's just, it doesn't feel great. Massu and Busio, full HP.
Would change your mind if it was like one of those cool belts, like a championship belt?
Oh, like a professional wrestling
like a WWE
belt with all
belt?
the gold and the fancy stuff. That would be great, but it's not. It's a Giants belt. It's just gray.
It's a gray belt.
It's just, yeah, you're just like, oh man, you probably didn't.
It's not even stylish.
It's not even, probably doesn't even have like the name brand. It's probably just like the
belts. It's like those crayons from earlier.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a shame.
Yeah.
But FlyQuest,
the crayons didn't smell. The belt does.
Oh no, a smelly belt. That is a nasty belt. Well, he is going for the Titanic first off here as Fudge goes in for the slam. Contractz ready to back him up.
Okay.
There we go. All right, Shopify Rebellion are on the board. They are going to tie this one up now with their second kill.
Oh, that's actually so funny too. You see how Seos got an assist? I think Seos E'd the Shen as the Shen was ulting to top lane, and thus buffed him and got an assist.
Oh, that's hella smart. I love that.
Yeah.
Pad the stats a little bit.
Pad the stats.
Yeah, okay.
Fantasy points. Thank you, Seos.
Well, Shopify are now back to an even game state in terms of gold, with that being their second kill. Now, both of those plays having been made on Bwipo, both of them with Contractz going up into the top side to guarantee that Fudge is finding the kills that he wants. And it's kind of going back to a bit of the story that you brought up last game, Isaac, where, yeah, Bwipo has talked some pretty serious trash towards Fudge in the past, but this series, Fudge seems to be having the better games.
The Fudge factor returns, and now Contractz has a Tiamat, which I guess is kind of just like an axe to hang in his belt. So now the belt has some extra utility.
Hip holster.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually you get to turn it into a bigger axe that you now no longer can hold on your belt because it's too big.
Exactly.
Two-handed axe. Now, Bwipo versus Fudge down in the bottom lane here. Fudge still a level down right now by about half, so needs to be careful about that. Yeah, exactly. You got to be careful about the Nocturne. You know that you're a level down. Contractz is shadowing down here in case Inspired does try to make that dive. Nice seismic shove there from Palafox onto Quad. Back in mid lane, by the way, we haven't really been paying a lot of attention to this lane the whole time because it hasn't really been the story. It's a slight lead for Quad, a little bit more than, like, what, 2 waves or so?
Yep.
But nicely done there for him on the Orianna. We haven't seen Palafox really be able to make any usage of the Weaver's Wall just yet.
Yeah, and that's why I think Quad is deserving of the credit, because he's kept him kind of locked in the lane here. And Fudge can be able to get a good trade. He could scoop him backwards as well. Shen is coming, but so is Nocturne topside.
Inspired ulti ends up just going up on the other side of the map instead, and now Bwipo is going to get beat down. Feet of Warfare claimed by Shopify Rebellion. And now they're in the lead.
Okay, yeah, and the play on the other side, I mean, Inspired pops that ulti, tries to look for Bvoy, he gets the ghost, and he gets the ulti out in trade, which I think Bvoy is pretty happy about here.
Yeah.
And Contractz now gets another kill, has a Titanic, and now with Titanic, you're clear, accelerates like a crazy amount. Titanic lets you just insta-kill camps, and you're going to have a really good duel against a lot of these champions as well. The Titanic burst damage is so high, especially if you get the empowered Q. If you pull the Keyblade through your opponent, that's the buffs that are coming out. That's where you get that extra damage, and then you go auto with the empowered auto attack speed. You can do the Titanic for the auto reset, and you can get some really nice bursts. And there was that ult from Bvoy, well played, able to just kind of kite it back.
You know, every time you say it, I know what you mean. I know it's K.I. Blade, but I always imagine Kingdom Hearts and Goofy just saying, "Gosh, Shen, you gotta pull the blade through him." It just, every time you say it.
Fair enough.
I just immediately go to
It's actually
Goofy
a Spirit
Shen.
Blade. It's not the Keyblade. It's the key something else.
Oh, well. Okay, you had me fooled.
It's the key barrier.
You said it with such confidence.
I've played Shen for so long, I always thought it was the Keyblade.
I'm pretty sure it was Keyblade back in the original Shen where he threw the little butter knife at you.
Oh, I actually really like that.
I think that's what it was, but
we could be making that up.
I guess we'll never know for sure. I still hope you keep calling it that just so I can keep having that image of Goofy talking to Shen in my mind. But right now, the image that I have in my mind is we've got another Drake spawned. It is 1-0 favoring FlyQuest, 3-0 in Grubs favoring FlyQuest. One more neutral objective, and they will claim that one of the feats of warfare. The engage attempt comes out there from Xayah, but he doesn't find what he's looking for. Contractz goes in for the taunt. Inspired forced to flash over the wall. That is a lot committed from Shopify. That is your Rell ult. That is your Taliyah ult. That is your Shen ult. Yes, you get the flash out of Inspired and Massu, but they still weren't getting any kills.
Yeah, and Busio didn't even have to really use too much to actually make that difficult. Xayah looked for the engage, and Xayah goes for the crash down, and he just gets instantly tornadoed by Busio. So then he has to flash to kind of get in there, and then the flashes come out from Contractz. So they spent so much, and we'll see if they can actually secure this. Xayah's going to look again.
Okay, problem is Busio on those tornadoes, so tough to deal with. Teleport coming in, now Shopify's got to be careful. Bwipo has already arrived with the Dominus ready to go. Xayah's disengaging here with a Shattering Strike as Contractz wants to try to challenge for the Drake, but it's going to be very tough. Bwipo's into the back line already, looking for a ton of damage here into Palafox, who has to flash over the wall, looking to barely keep himself around as Contractz stuck in the middle of 5 players on FlyQuest, going to drop. Fly, they grab themselves the objective, they get the bonus kill. They'll find another one here onto Palafox as Bvoy and Xayah are left to the wolves, and those dogs are barking. Massu in a little bit of danger here, but he ain't dead yet. Bvoy down to 300 HP. Busio trying to keep everybody away, but that was just goofy. He ends up giving a free one back, makes it at least a little bit more tolerable for Shopify, who still lose the fight overall.
Yeah, Busio was just trying to keep Fudge busy and ends up going down for it, but you can see Massu now about to cash out the call, is getting a lot stronger here. Quad definitely has been more impactful than Palafox, and Palafox now finally gets his first little bit of AP. He just bought his first blasting one. That it's literally, he had 0 AP purchased during this fight. He was on Merc Dread's Catalyst tier, like he has so little damage in the kit, but this fight, really set up well here by Bwipo. TP's in with the Dominus active, is able to put this pressure here onto Palafox. And Fudge is on the other side and is just kind of trying to harass them, trying to chase after them here. But they're able to get the kill, at that first kill onto the Shen. And then Fudge kind of has to walk the long way around because he's split from his team. They get the chase down here. They get that kill onto Palafox as he was getting out. And everyone is just kind of keeping them locked in. You can see Busio was trying to pull the wave so the next wave could crash and they could redive. But I think he just lost track of where Fudge would be and ends up getting taken down as a result.
Oh, and you can see the frustration on Revan's face with that one. It's a bit of a rough play. Busio also trying to figure out
what was that Janna doing?
Where it all went wrong.
I was the Janna, wasn't I?
Guys, should we report Janna for that? 0.2 thousand, the only lead. I don't know why I called it that. I think it's just the
0.2 thousand.
Yeah, 0.2 thousand. That's pretty dumb way to
Because you're using those low-quality markers.
Yeah.
You don't know what kind of toxic chemicals are in them.
And I wish they smelled like lime instead of whatever this is. I'm clearly not.
Like asbestos.
I'm not doing well. But FlyQuest are pretty much dead even with Shopify in gold, no matter how you'd like to measure
Flowers
it.
on the Oregon Trail. It's not looking good.
Yeah, I think I got dysentery from or dysentery. How do I say it? I don't dysentery?
Know.
I think
dysentery
it's dysentery.
sounds more right.
Yeah, I think I got dysentery from the markers. But anyway,
but don't worry, the pioneers didn't know how to say it.
Pioneers didn't know it. We don't have to know it. It's fine.
Exactly.
It's just we're just doing it the good old way.
Useless knowledge.
We got Shopify now, though. They are down pretty severely in terms of objectives. They've lost the first 2 Drakes. They lost all 3 of the Grubs. The Herald is in the inventory of Inspired. They've lost that one as well. But hey, at least they got the feats of warfare. Like, that's the one thing that they did manage to collect for themselves thanks to the early control over the kills and turrets. And we'll see how much value that provides in the face of all these objectives FlyQuest has been farming.
Yeah, absolutely. Contractz has his ult ready. He would love to be a level 11 before he has the ult again because that significantly reduces the cooldown. You can see he also got CDR boots. And he is playing Ulti Hunter, so he's picked up a few stacks there. Excuse me, no, he only has 1 stack of Ulti Hunter? Are all his kills on Bwipo? I guess they are. Wow, that's kind of surprising. I thought he was involved in some other kills, but of course Bwipo was the only one who died, so it has to be on Bwipo.
Yeah, the only other kill they got besides Bwipo was one on Busio.
Yeah, so he wasn't even involved in that. Yeah, so I thought he would have had a second stack, but he does not. But either way, the CD is slowly going down as he works towards 11. Will be a pretty big chunk off of that cooldown. Does take another couple of seconds, another 16, 20 seconds, something like that off of it. So he's going to be feeling pretty good about that if he can get another effective ulti and maybe just continue attacking the side lanes here. I mean, if you can get another kill onto Bwipo, if you can get Fudge into the spot where he can't really be answered in the 1v1, it's going to make things, I think, very difficult for FlyQuest.
Yeah, and Inspired is already at that point where he's feeling better about having the reduced cooldown for the level 2 ulti there on his Nocturne. Experimental Hex Plate also completed. Feels great to have the extra value
ulti
on
hunter
that
as well.
Yep, so both of these guys just working to reduce those egregiously long cooldowns by as much as they can. Rod of Ages at least completed onto Palafox, stacking that one up. Over on the other side, though, Quad not only had the Archangels done, but also fully evolved now into Seraph's Embrace, so some extra defensive power for this mid lane mage as well. Just the nature of League of Legends these days. Nice taunt flash comes out from Contractz. It sets up the seismic shove, but where's the rest of the damage? Palafox with a Weaver's Wall over the wall, needs a little bit more to finish off the kill onto Quad. They don't quite have it, and finally they get it, but it's still going to be a 1-for-1, make it a 2-for-1 as the Super Mega Death Rocket sets it up for Inspired to knock it down. The lack of damage on Shopify forces them to overcommit, and they end up losing a 1-for-2.
Yeah, they used a lot there as well. Both flashes, he survives, he gets over the wall, so then Palafox chases, and they Shen ult onto Palafox as he's going over the wall to try to get those reinforcements in. They do eventually kill Quad, but like you said, they spent so much doing it, and then a great ulti from Massu helps Inspired finish off those kills. That was definitely not worth it for Shopify, and now FlyQuest is going to be able to crash this Herald in mid lane. And that is getting chunked pretty low, and they're also going to TP Quad in here, so looks like they want to keep up this pressure and move over to the Dragon to try to claim that.
Exactly. This would be a very early soul point for FlyQuest. It would put the pressure on Shopify for the remainder of the game to have to answer all these. Fudge takes a little bit of damage there, still with the Gnar bar charging, not quite up to where he'll be forced to transform, so has it kind of in that sweet spot, but goes bottom.
Out to, though.
Clears out the wave. FlyQuest with control over the bot side river, control over the objective pit.
Yeah, I mean, now Fudge basically has to force, because they're just going to wait out the Mega Gnar, right? They saw him actually pop that as he went to clear out the wave. Contractz is going to go!
Double taunt coming out from Contractz. He grabs the bottom lane alongside Quad. A lot of damage, but not enough to guarantee a kill, and instead Inspired is going to go on a rampage as Palafox falls. Now Contractz getting stunned up without any cooldowns left to play with it. Inspired finds a nice catch on a Fudge and Bvoy both. The Xayah barely gets away with a Super Mega Death Rocket! Fudge flashes out of the way and condemns his AD carry to death. Bwipo is ready to be his judge, jury, and executioner. A double kill over to Massu, and FlyQuest just slammed him.
Yeah, I mean, the start of the fight looked like it was going to be so good for Contractz, but there wasn't enough people there to actually follow up on that taunt from Contractz, so no one goes down on the other side off of that initial engagement, and then it's just FlyQuest taking over. They have more consistent damage. We see the Orianna is quite ahead. The Jinx is quite ahead. They just seem to be doing way more damage on the other side.
All right, Bwipo. The Weaver's Wall comes down, but Palafox doesn't arrive with it. So Bwipo walks away.
Oops.
Okay. I saw the wall arrive, and it was like, imagine an Uber pulls up to your house to drop someone off. The door opens. There's no one inside. The Uber drives away.
They have those now.
Yeah, that's...
Those they do.
No, I mean not the driver, the passenger.
Oh, okay,
yeah, there's just no one arriving to the house.
True. All right, well, Quad and Busio survive there. They're able to flash out, keep their health high enough. But again, the problem becomes it's these multiple threats. It's a high DPS. Massu going to be able to get the reset as there's the flash from Fudge. Honestly, I think even if it hits Fudge, I think that the AD is close enough that the splash damage probably kills him.
It probably does, but it still looks really funny.
It does look really funny, you're right. But I think that, unfortunately, is probably the end of the hopes here for Shopify. I just feel like their carries are just getting way too far behind, and they're not really being able to find a lot.
We will win, guys. We'll win. Just fight.
I'm going to kill them, okay? I'm going to kill them.
Yeah, we're back to live, and we're back to watching Otacon die. And I mean, if you lose Otacon, they're on Soul Point. It's 3K advantage. The carries are really fed. This is going to be so hard, especially when it's Orianna and Janna there, because that's double shielding for the Jinx. That's double shielding, plus the Seraphs, if you want to count that as well, for Quad. I just think it's going to be so hard for Shopify to ever kill off those carries. I mean, it's going to require some sort of great combo. Contractz goes Redemption second, which I actually really like. When you are playing Shen jungle, you can ult in, then drop the Redemption. You have the shield, you have the healing coming through. It's very effective. But yeah, like, where's the damage coming from? Like, you look over, and it just feels like Bvoy and Palafox aren't going to have enough barring some sort of perfect engage to actually get those kills. And definitely if they get Mountain Soul, then that is going to make it pretty much impossible.
It's like the worst soul to have to deal with in a game where you already feel like a lack of damage is the thing that's causing you to struggle. Because I have liked the angles that we've seen from Shopify. The catch on quad in the top lane, I thought was a good catch. The catch on the double combo of quad and Busio in the bottom side river before the Drake, I think is a good catch, but they just don't have the damage for the payoff.
Yeah, and it's made more difficult when you're a low-threat team and there's someone like Nocturne, right? Because Nocturne has a bunch of kills. Nocturne can just ult one of your carries, and you must respect it and kite back, or you will die. Like, you can't just ignore the Nocturne. So, great, you pop the Xayah ult, you pop your Ghost, you get out of the tier feather, the Fear Tether, you're running away, but then you're not dealing any damage, right? And, you know, Shen alone does not put on enough pressure, especially with this kind of build and from this kind of a, you know, a deficit as far as the experience is concerned, to be able to, like, solo out a carry or anything. So it's going to be really hard, and I think that puts a ton of pressure onto Fudge to kind of be that extra threat to get in the back line, you know, nail a good ultimate, find that play. But that's where Janna comes in, and Janna can really shut you down. If you don't have flash, you should always get tornadoed or just ultied and knocked back when you try to actually crunch in, you know, go for that jump in before your Gnar.
All right, so for Shopify, what I'm looking at is, can you stop this soul? It feels pretty much imperative. If you do not accomplish this task, the game just feels way too far gone with the amount of bonus power they're going to get from this. We've got a little bit over a minute until it spawns, and I expect Shopify to put attention down here early and try to make sure they have control over the bottom side river, because I feel like if they're the ones that have to be on the approach when the enemy team has the Janna for disengage and has the Nocturne Orianna torpedo combo to just immediately take out whatever target dares to rear their face, there's just no way to get there.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. So we'll see. You know, maybe they can find a pick in a side lane or something like that before the fight to really kind of, you know, throw a wrench in the gears and mess up the calculations a bit there for FlyQuest, as Bwipo has been pushing. You know, Fudge is still in a good spot, but Bwipo may be going to get found here.
Ooh, Palafox walking back the other way, doesn't end up finding any opportunity to try to punish the Croc alongside Fudge, as now seeing two enemy players topside, FlyQuest is saying, all right, even though Palafox can join, we can be here first. They're moving down into the bot side river.
Yeah, Fudge just mega out, so he is going to have some time before he actually goes back mini, and then some time while he is exhausted, he can't actually build up that passive. So he's going to have to try to build up his passive on this next wave and get it into a good spot where he can actually join, because the Dragon's starting in 10, and if I'm seeing this, I'm just starting it on spawn, because you know Fudge has no Gnar bar, and that is going to make it incredibly difficult, and he kills the wave. He could try to like hit Krugs or something like that to try to get some rage, but I feel like you just force this and the Dragon's probably gone before Fudge is relevant. Yeah, there's no way for Fudge to really contribute to this, to charge that bar at all. FlyQuest going to go ahead and start it up. Yeah, we'll see if they can find an angle here. Fudge going to try to get that Gnar bar ready. Okay, they've already used the Weaver's Wall on the side of Shopify, but Palafox doesn't find any sort of an angle to go in on anything. Inspired, forcing back Bvoy and Contractz. FlyQuest still grouped up as 5. Seos wanted to make the big engage, but he doesn't find a valuable target here just yet. Bwipo into the back line, looking to put the pressure on Bvoy as Seos is already down. Quad taking the first kill. Bwipo will not be deterred. He's running through all of the defense. They'll finally kill him off, but it's way too late. Fudge gets caught up in the chompers as Inspired continues zoning away the last two living players on Shopify Rebellion. Massu gonna keep it up, needs a little bit more damage to finish off Contractz, but does not get it. It does not matter. Shopify Rebellion will not be able to stop this one from FlyQuest. Yeah, and FlyQuest just know there's no Gnar bar, force the fight. That's all you have to do. Palafox throws down the Weaver's Wall. You know, you have the Rell on a flank. He tries to find a good angle to engage here as Inspired goes forward. He forces out the ulti there from Bvoy, and then it's the engage coming through from Seos. But again, where's the follow-up? There's no one that can actually do any damage. Palafox isn't even in range. Fudge doesn't have his Gnar ready. And then so Bwipo just goes into the backline, just piles in on Bvoy. That forces a defensive Shen ult in onto him. And then when Fudge does Gnar out, he's just scooping back Bwipo to try to save his AD carry. The fight was already decided really before it began. And though Seos hit a lot of people with his engage, if Palafox and Fudge and Bvoy can't follow up on it, it's not going to mean anything, right? And it just did not look like a coordinated fight there from Shopify. So unfortunately, it does feel like this game kind of ends with a bit of a whimper. as an ineffective fight.
Yeah, and Inspired doesn't even get caught by the taunt there from Contractz over the wall. There's the knock wave combo with the Super Mega Death Rocket over the top. They immediately kill Contractz and Fudge both. The front line gone on Shopify's side. Baron is on the map, and it's all but free for FlyQuest.
Yeah, this is going to be impossible to defend. Bwipo is just taking a 1v2 here. Busio's going to come over and defend him. You got Mountain Soul, you got a Janna. There is no damage, it feels like, coming out of Bvoy.
Yeah, Bwipo just does not care about this. Palafox finally arrives. Xayah still drops. Bwipo in a 1v3. This is that limit testing that we're talking about. Yeah. He's taking the chances to see how far he can push it. He still gets a 1-for-1 trade while his team picks up the Baron.
Yep, still gets that 1-for-1 trade. Honestly, probably not even worth it because then he doesn't get the Baron buff. He could pressure through sides, but I don't think it matters whatsoever. He can even just group forward with the team. You could put Inspired in the side lane. He can join very easily with the Nocturne ulti. Yeah. And you look at the carries, they're ridiculously strong. We can watch this fight one more time. They try to look for the angle. Good little sidestep there from Inspired. He dodges back towards the Rell to dodge out on the taunt. And then there's just nothing to it. The Shockwave came through, Super Mega Death Rocket comes through. They're able to pile in, get the resets, get those easy kills. They knew Palafox was down on the bot side, and it's not like him TPing would make any difference whatsoever. And then Bwipo having a little bit of fun, does get interrupted on the dice after the slice went through, so Xayah's doing a good job there to try to protect Bvoy. And then as this Weaver's Wall comes through, he realized, you know what, I can't get to the carry. I can just turn on Xayah, and does get a kill there.
My bad. Nah, I just told. Sorry. I thought the Xayah was too cocky.
Unfortunately, it was Bwipo who was too cocky.
It's a thin line to walk in moments like those as FlyQuest now 6,500 gold ahead. They've got the soul. They've got all the grubs. They've got everything they might need. They've got the Otacon. It's all about just making sure you don't do anything silly as you put the final touches on this game. Inspired and Bwipo looking to keep that pressure going here in mid, doing exactly what you were talking about. Bwipo is now grouping up with the team. Inspired is the separate pressure over in mid. The Weaver's Wall is used to not great effect. It's going to slow down this push just slightly, but they're still going to kill the turret. That's going to get Massu excited. FlyQuest still seeing if they might be able to find some follow-up here, but the zap does not get a slow. So Inspired now just taking the chance. All right, let's keep the mid lane pushed up instead. They also used the paranoia there to stop any chance of Shopify making a move from that Weaver's Wall. So Inspired, not quite the same ability to group up with the rest of the team, but he's got Fudge right next to him. He knows as long as I can see him in front of my face, there's a 4v4 over there, and my guys win it every time.
And at this point of the game, you know, only 54 seconds on that ulti cooldown, so it's getting really close to actually being back up. Only 15 more seconds, and it'll have the ulti, basically. So not too big of a concern that he uses it there. Bwipo did use the Dominus as well, so he does not have that available, but all they have to do is just play around these siege minions and try to go careful.
Ooh, might be a catch onto Massu here, who has to pop the cleanse to try to get away, but Bvoy is already dead. He dies with ult and flash up, and that's going to be the end of the game. 3 dead on Shopify as they try to get the last couple of players away, but Palafox is not escaping this spooky ghost. Inspired just running them all down. A double kill back over to Massu, and they finish the ace on the steps of the base. FlyQuest, they might have ended up having to play a full 3 games, but they make this third one the most one-sided of the series. They will take down Shopify Rebellion 2-1.
Nicely done by FlyQuest. They are able to clean it up. As you said, this final game, by far the most one-sided. Bwipo got picked on a little bit in the side lanes, but Inspired, Quad, Massu, and Busio combined for only 2 deaths in the game between those 4 players. 7-0 and 8 for Massu. Monster game on the Jinx. You know, had a massive Corki game earlier in the series, and Quad as well felt like such a difference maker. It felt like he had Palafox locked in lane in that 1v1 for so long. He could never find any roams. Felt like he was behind the pace of the game. And the FlyQuest carries were always safe and pumping out damage.
It's another win for FlyQuest, and now we're joining Raz on stage for an interview.
What's up? Got Busio right next to me after that win. First question for you. Nice seeing the Janna pick, actually. Didn't expect it at all. What was the thought process with the pick? Because last time I saw it was like Reckless picking it, obviously. Any surprises there?
I mean, I was surprised they picked Rell into Janna, because I actually like playing Janna into Rell a lot, as you saw in some of the team fights. Even if he flash ults, like, if the Janna clicks ult, he's kind of cooked. So it's a pretty good pick if they pick Rell, and if not, it's just kind of a champ that enables your ADC and gives a lot of peel. And obviously we have a Jinx, kind of the king of the lobby is the Jinx. Yeah. So I just had to pick something that complements that.
What did you feel made the series a little tougher for you guys? Because, of course, it went to Game 3, and it was pretty close on, I think, the second and third.
I mean, I think I personally just had an off day. Like, I was playing pretty, just not aggressive. My laning phases were bad. So then it just kind of came down to like late game team fights. So whichever team had the better team fight comp seemed to win the series. Oh, someone just spilled coffee. So yeah, I think just a little too scared from my end.
Sounds good. Hey, Massu, can I hit you up with a few questions myself? Massu, do you hear me?
I just made a spill, so
What'd you spill? What happened here?
I knocked over the coffee.
Okay.
But yeah, you go if I need to clean it up.
Okay, I got one question because we're going to be hearing from you in the lounge on that one. First question is going to be just like, how to feel from your perspective on the series, because you popped off on the Janna there, the Jinx.
To be honest, I think all of the champs that I played today, I didn't really need to do much.
Yeah.
It's all champs that get set up by my team, and I think when they played well, it was just like really easy for me. I just needed to get one kill on the Jinx, and then I would get a reset, and then I think it was pretty unplayable for the enemy team. So yeah, I mean, my team just scared me.
I've got a question for the both of you. Okay, if a player series was to be decided on, I got to vote, but I want you guys to be able to at least decide amongst yourselves. Who are you giving it to? I'll start with you. For your team, if you were a player of the series.
I don't know, any of my teammates. I think Massu played really well, so Massu.
Okay, Massu, you get to be the decider on this one. A lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure. Quad or Busio?
Oh my God! Okay, it's just going to quad. All right. We're gonna be heading this one straight to the break, but afterwards, Massu is gonna be joining us. I guess after he cleans up the spill there. All right, take it away, guys.